Guys, what the hell is this? Look. This was never in my print. All the prints were in the middle and they failed. Instead, I got this massive block that I never printed. So I'm confused, how the hell did this end up there? Also, these rectangles here, they're not supposed to be there either, so what the hell? Next. This is obviously with 2 pieces of paper to protect my eyes. Well, clearly it's fucked. So yeah, I guess I'll have to get in touch with AnyCubic. But the problem is, well, I know what the problem is, because the first time, so when I received this printer, it's the FEP sheet that was way too loose, and underneath where all the screws are, the 26 screws, they were really loose as well. So actually after a few prints, loads of resin leaked to the left side. So there you go, that's the issue right there. So it wasn't assembled properly in the first place. So they sent 2 new FEP sheets, and they also said the auto feeder, because the auto feeder wasn't working either. So I had to make a little tutorial for the auto feeder because that didn't work. And now one exists on YouTube as well, so people know how to use it now. So, but this is shit. So now I have to wait another week, and I have a client to deal with because they ordered a figurine, and now I can't print it. So I mean, I got the 2 other printers, but they're FDM. So this sucks. Ugh. You can see that that's where the resin leaked, which is where the FEP wasn't fully secured. So that's obviously why the issue is there. Guys, hello, right, so continuing on from previous videos, obviously the screen on this printer is fucked, and I believe that was caused by poor assembly during the manufacturing process, because the FEP sheet, the screws here, they were not tight, and after a few prints after I removed the vat, I realized there was resin leaked everywhere. So, and I didn't even know what the FEP was for at that time. I didn't know what the FEP was. All I know is that the resin vat has some kind of film at the bottom of it that kept the resin in. Anyway, when I removed the vat, obviously there was loads of resin leaked on the left side, and now when it prints, I just got a strobing line on the left side, strobing middle, and it just used up a whole bottle of resin, basically curing resin all on the left side. So that kind of screwed it all up, and somehow it broke the screen, I believe. I think it was the resin that broke the screen. Anyway, long story short, I messaged AnyCubic support after submitting a video. They sent out a replacement within a week. It arrived, and it's a massive kit, to be honest. It's a massive box for a screen. I mean, look at that. So yeah, everything that I need is in here. But you know, this could all be prevented by providing good documentation, things that you should double check before you start printing, because there was none of that. For example, this is the second time I already made an inquiry to AnyCubic support because the auto feeder for the resin was not working, and instead of me troubleshooting it, they asked me to check if the seal is tight. In a way, that was a cue for the correct diagnosis. However, it wasn't descriptive enough. So I went on to replacing what they sent me, and the exact same thing was happening. However, all that was missing was a washer at the bottom of the vat that you put in on top of the resin bottle. I don't know, my resin bottle is put away somewhere. But yeah, it's just poor communication, because obviously they're a Chinese company, and by the sounds of it, English is not a strong point. So I assume they hire translators and stuff, but still, they need to go the extra mile for communicating with their buyer, with the client, thoroughly, because they didn't need to send out this replacement. They just needed to provide a good tutorial or a good descriptive method how to check that the seal is tight, because from feeling it physically it felt really tight, but apparently it wasn't, because it was missing the washer that was supposed to go on top of the resin bottle. So I assume it's a similar kind of thing with this. So I believe that the FEP sheet that was not secured tightly to the vat with the screws were actually rather loose. Upon me first actually checking them, they were not even tight. So I think that was part of the reason why the resin leaked. And I don't know much about the screen. I know the screen has this black seal around it. So I'm thinking maybe that wasn't sealed tight enough. So I think that could be one of the reasons, but let's get to opening this and just try to change it and see what we learn from this, because I cannot go through this just constantly changing parts every 3 weeks. I only had this printer for like a month and it's already failed twice. Well, the first time, it wasn't really a failure on the hardware part, it's a failure of instructions. Like, I've read through everything that was there, but none of them hinted that the washer needs to be on top of the resin bottle. That's all that was needed to be said. To leave the cardboard washer that is on top of the bottle cap. So basically I needed to remove the one from the bottle cap and put it on the one that comes with the printer, this. And yeah, again, way too many parts, so I think they are actually wasting money. I assume they're probably sending this to minimize how many times they need to interact with me, so they're just sending everything just to cover every end possible. But I believe if they had better communication, better instructions explaining where the error may have come from, all they asked from me was just the firmware number of the machine, check that the cables are connected fine, and a video of the actual issue. So that's all that they communicate with me, and then they just sent out this item, which is a complete kit of a screen replacement, I believe. But there's too many things. I think there's things here that I won't even need. So I believe this is that film. I think this is the very important part that actually seals the screen. So if a resin leak happens, this would prevent resin leaking under the screen. And this, I am not sure what this is. Oh, that goes underneath the seal by the looks of it. This, I have no idea what this is. Now this is a glass. I believe this goes under everything, under the screen, because what actually emits the UV light is a completely different part to the screen. I think the screen just lets the UV light through, but it's but the screen, I believe, doesn't actually generate the ultraviolet rays themselves. And this is the suction cups that I need to actually remove the screen. Yeah, there's way more things than I expected. So, cable, suction cups to remove the screen, we've got the glass underneath. I think this is the first seal that goes on top of the screen, the second seal that goes on top of the screen, this I have no idea, and the screen itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know what this is, like double-sided tape for some reason. 7, 8, it's like 8 items, like 9 maybe if you include a box and packaging. So I already have removed the front cover of the screen, and the way you do that, turning the printer on its side, make sure there's no cables in the way, and there's 3 screws that you unscrew from the bottom. Don't want to do it. There's one here, 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 and on the other side. That basically hold the metal in place. So it's here, and you see here, here, and here. And just put them aside and put the screws on top of the metal piece. Obviously you have to unscrew, obviously you have to undo the cable, and the way I undid it was it's this little grey flap that goes up and down, so lift it and then you will be able to release the cable. And the same thing for this cable, lift the grey flap, and then you can disconnect the connector. You can use your fingernails to lift it. Just like that. And I already have removed this. And then there's another one by the looks of it here, which is a thicker one. But yeah, I think these pieces, oh, this one's got a lot of residue. So that looks like it's gonna be, that is gonna have to be cleaned because that left a lot of residue on that. So yeah, that is not gonna be fun, I think. Unless I can just use my grip. Jeez, that's windy outside. And then apparently we'll use the suction cup to remove it. I wonder if that's, yeah, that is double-sided tape by the feels of it. That's holding this in place. So you see what I did at the bottom? I just I just raised it, but I did feel double-sided tape on the other side. So now let's see how easily this comes up. Not as easily as I thought. So this needs to be raised, obviously. And I thought this was going to be a simpler process than this. And I'm making sure the suction cups. Oh yeah, this is not easy. What if I do corner by corner? See that tutorial on AnyCubic YouTube for removing the screen. Oh my god, that cracked the screen! It made it look like it's such an easy job, but this is... Oh my god, this completely... This is dangerous. Yeah, that cracked the screen. And yep, there's cracks on the screen straight away. Look at that crack. Anyway, let's keep going. Because I thought maybe if I remove the screen and maybe I had access to the bottom of it, I could actually see where the resin went and maybe clear it. But clearly this broke the screen instantly whilst trying to do this. So this definitely won't be usable anymore. Oh my god, that's terrifying. So yeah, I think it's held in place so tightly because there's double 3M tape maybe somewhere. Maybe I'm thinking maybe it's this that holds the screen in place. Jeez, I'm worried because like this looks like it isn't all the screen. This isn't just the screen. Is that just the screen? Because that does not look just like the screen by itself. What the fuck is that? Oh yeah, look, that's loads of resin there. Okay, so you can see the actual UV emitters down there. So I'm thinking this isn't the full screen. I think that's just part of it. So I think this is the rest of the screen maybe. Let's try lift this. Oh, this is just fucked. I'm worried because like I don't want any glass to fly in my face. Man, I love printers, but this is not good, man. I only had this printer for like a month. And it's funny because I have a friend that does FDM printing and he's got a resin printer too. And he says resin printers are a breeze compared to FDM printers. Now, I have had problems with FDM printing, don't get me wrong. But this is just annoying. Oh my god. What the hell? And this electronic piece is loose, so that should come out fine. Is this attached to it? Ugh. That's so funny how the AnyCubic tutorial makes it look so simple. I don't want to damage anything. Don't know what to do. It's definitely the tape that's keeping this in place. Glass everywhere, kinda ish. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So there's tape on top and tape on the bottom, by the looks of it. That's why, yeah, that's why we have so many of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's more than I expected. 6 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So on top, so I think this one goes top, top, and bottom, bottom, and same for the sides. But why is there 6, not 4? Maybe as a backup in case one goes wrong. Scary. I do not like dealing with glass. I'm glad I decided to film this because I don't think I've seen any other generic users replacing the screen, which is a more honest video, to be honest, than what AnyCubic makes it out to be like. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna cut this strip. Wait, do I need to? Cause fuck, sharp glass. This is ridiculous, though, having to deal with this yourself. Yeah, I'm just cutting that off because I do not want it going through the other side. This is just ridiculous. God, I sound so moany. I know. Yeah, I just cut it so I can pull this out like that. Oh, and just. So this is a razor blade piece, and this is a Stanley blade piece. So I am on top of the glass piece. I'm fucking nervous with this. This is crap. Do you think this is right for a user to be doing this themselves? This is professional work. This is easy work. Okay. So now we need to remove this glass, I think, but I want to get rid of the glass pieces that are on the floor, so I'm going to sort that out first. So to clean up the glass shards that are on the floor, I'm going to use this. And do I want to brush it? Because we'll remember, we're replacing this glass as well, because it came with it. Then I also want to use my blower. This one's going to be even harder because this is really thick glass that is held in place. Frodo's. Oh, this is terrifying. I don't want to remove this. Can I just leave it on? I'm going to try to leave this on and instead just remove the tape. Okay, that's there. So yeah, I'm not going to remove this because this feels like it's on solid, and I think removing it would be really difficult, but that means I've got to remove tape somehow. Why the hell do I have to do this myself? You know, like if you need to do this and you're still in warranty, I would just return the printer. This is just, I shouldn't be doing this work. How the hell do I remove this? I think I need to use acetone maybe, but if I do, that is going to be a nightmare to remove this glass. Oh, there we go. That's easier from the bottom. Okay. I'm going to try to salvage this and use acetone, I think. I want to cover this up though. So yeah, I'm not using, what was I going to say? I'm not using the suction cups to remove the glass. I use my fingers instead, from pushing it from the bottom where we remove the electronics from. So pushed it up like that, because this glass is thick. So now to remove these tapes. Okay, so got a ball of acetone. Now if you guys do this, I advise you use gloves, but since I'm an idiot, I don't. So let's just see if this actually gets rid of it, or will it be better scraping it? See, I'm not scraping it because I don't want to scratch this glass, do I? But I'm using kitchen roll, and I'm using my nail to like push into it slightly, which has seemed to done the job for one of the sides at least. Let's continue with the other side. Ooh. I mean, sure, I do have the other screen, which I might actually use. I might just clean this one up and put this one away and use the new screen. Because you never know, if I need to buy a kit or a screen, it might come with everything that I need anyway, so this might be kind of useless to clean it up. But I'm gonna save it just in case. Guys, I'm not going to bother filming all of this, so you get the idea what I'm doing. Okay, so removing the residue was actually fine. It took me around 10 to 15 minutes. But I'm not going to use the one I removed. I will use the fresh glass. Oh god, we got to remove from this side as well. And how the hell are we going to do that? So, do I want to protect this? Maybe with the sheet. Try to do that at least, because we need to clear this tape as well, and that is right up on the edge, so that makes it a bit difficult. Right, so I'm going to try use this somehow. Let's try it from the middle. Oh, with this is good, very good. Okay, that worked very nicely. This is rather a sharp tool. This is a fresh blade actually. Yeah, this works great. So I've got the sharp side like that. A bit awkward like this, but it still comes off. Hopefully I won't have to use acetone for this side. Just want to make sure that nothing drops inside where the UV side is. UV bulbs? I don't know what they are called. UV bulbs? Let's do this side maybe. See? So my main priority here is just to make this as flat as possible. So obviously not to remove any more of this aluminium itself, just to remove the tape so it's nice flat again. Because obviously the tape adds a bit of Z height. But I think after we remove all this tape, I think that it should become a bit easier, the rest of the job. I might use a bit of acetone after I remove as much as I can on the kitchen roll, I think, because I do not obviously want it to drop into these UV lights. So now I've got a bit of acetone here, and remember I do have the sheets of paper under this machine, so we've got a bit of protection. Actually, before I proceed to the rest of the job, I am gonna do the same with this area, get all the residue out. Which actually this works really well, the acetone, especially now that we've got a very little amount left there. And you can see that the residue gets left on the kitchen roll. I really hope that this is a one-off, and maybe with proper assembly, maybe with actually checking the seals that they're tight, maybe this won't happen again. Because this is just effort, replacing the screen. And I wonder actually how much they actually are if you were to purchase one. Say you got this happening outside of the warranty, for example. So before I start using acetone, I like to just remove as much as possible physically. Well, I mean, like manually, like this, before you start introducing chemicals, you know. Ugh, oh, that's sticky. Very sticky. Yeah, so this is to protect the cables, obviously. One interesting thing is though, like the protective seal that goes on the outside here has no residue at all. So I wonder if that's like the weakest one, which technically it should be the strongest in my opinion to protect from the resin pouring inside. Or am I wrong? I mean, surely that's one of the biggest things that you should protect against, right? got some of the residue going inside here, so I'm going to get it out. And I'm gonna use this, although I said there's no residue here on the outer side, I'm still gonna clear it up because I do not want any human oils, skin oils, you know, that could prevent a tight seal. I mean, this looks good the way it's cleaned up and stuff. Here's me hoping that it won't happen again. Still got some black coming off, but I think that was from this side mostly. I'm just going to keep doing that until I see no residue. Now I'm just thinking, do I want to put the stickers on the frame or the glass itself? So we've got a few extras here, so let's try to get this off here. Oh, this one's clear, this one ain't black. Don't know if that's worse or better. So I'm gonna try to put it, I'm not gonna put this right against the corner because that makes it harder to remove. So I'm gonna put it more against the center, I think. More on the center side. Actually, it's fine putting it on this rather than the glass itself. However, I'm going to lift this a little bit, get this more centered. Okay, and before I remove the double-sided tip, I'm going to put them all on. And then push it in with my nail just a little bit, make sure it's stuck on properly. Okay, that one's done. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. Is it though? Is that going to make it a little bit higher? I don't trust it. I'm going to bin this one. Because now that we tore some paper, and if I put it back on, it might have a bit of extra height on that area, so I'm not going to use that one. And now for the thin ones. Okay, the thin one does have to go right up to the edge. Yeah, the thin one is rather thin. I mean the slot that it goes on top of, the aluminium part of the frame, is very, very thin. Oh, too much, too high, too far. Okay, now that all corners are done, so let's get the glass ready. And I'm only going to peel the protective side on one of them. I'm only gonna, is it protective sleeve? So I'm gonna remove the double-sided tape upper seal, not both sides, just one of the sides. Whilst trying not to actually peel both sides off, because if it does, it might create a little bump, as it does when you peel off corners. So I'm using this X-Acto knife to do the job instead. Yep, there we go. So that's just the protective layer that came off, which is perfect, exactly what I wanted. Now to do the same for all sides. Same here, just a protective layer. Uh-oh, what's this side? Nope, I done it wrong with that side. It came off with the tape itself. Maybe some pliers would have helped me. Or tweezers, I meant. There we go. There we go, all of them done. Okay, right. Now, a bit scary because I don't know if dust matters on this or not. So can I expose it to dust? I'm only want to remove one side for now. So let's try it like this. I don't want to touch the bottom of the glass at all. So I'm gonna try it this. Okay, the bottom is aligned. Now I'm gonna try to grip the sides. There we go. Okay, that's good. I didn't touch the bottom at all. And that's for a reason, because I don't want any fingerprints. Okay, that looks good. And I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure on the sides that is supposed to be contacting. So much for a 3-minute tutorial, huh? Okay, now we want to repeat the same thing with the double-sided tape on here. So again, I don't want to remove the cover. So instead, I'm going to just lift the areas where I need to double-sided tape. And yeah, so it's basically just above where it was before, whilst trying not to actually use my fingertips to touch the glass. Uh-oh. Which is a bit impossible because I need to actually make sure this is making good contact, so I'm going to do this. I think that's fine. This one's going to be a bit tricky, I think. I mean, a bit of dust or fingerprint, I don't think it would matter too much. But I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to continue using my method that I'm doing now. Use my fingernail. Oh, see, that's a bit too close to the edge. Nearly there, come on. 2 more sides and then we can put the screen on. Where's my tape? Okay. Now for the short sides. So yeah, AnyCubic completely left this bit out. I don't know why. Oh, this is really hard not to use your fingertips. Not to have your fingertips not touch the glass. So actually I'm using the glass protective layer to do what I'm doing now. I'll put it back on just so I could actually make sure that this double-sided tape is tight. So you can see I'm revealing it first to put down the tape. And again, press it down. All the way, push it down with my nail. And now we can actually put the glass on, I believe. Oh yeah, there's three double-sided tapes here, but that doesn't matter. So, let me just show you. So these 3 double-sided tapes, they go where the electronics went. That. Let me just show you guys quickly. See there? The black ones. So these, that's where they go. But I'm not gonna bother peeling that off. That will work functionally just fine. So let's continue. I think I'll try to hold it only like this because the front has a cover and so does the back. So make sure it's all good. Yep, the connector is that. Wait, which side's which? Okay, it says front here. Yeah, it must go like that so you can, because the connector has to be like that, obviously not the other side. Yep, so good thing I noticed that. So I think this is going to be a bit tricky, so I'm going to try not to breathe too much because I don't want any dust landing on the glass. So I'm going to peel this off, the double-sided stickers side off, and then I'm going to have to peel this off as well, and then just put it in. So let's hope this goes well. Wish me luck. Put it far away. I think I'm a bit nervous. There we go. This is so strange, look. I'm not sure if you can see that sparkle here. It's got like arrows here. Arrow, arrow. By the looks of it, it's supposed to be like that. Can you see like that? Look at that sparkle. There. Kind of see it in the film. Okay, so remember, this is like that. So I need to peel off the back. Again, I'm going to try not to breathe after. Okay. See those stickers. I'm touching it. Fuck me, I touched it. I wasn't supposed to touch it. Fuck. Okay, I cleaned up my finger residue. Completely forgot that I wasn't supposed to touch that side. Uh-oh. Yep, align to the bottom. Oh no, not again. Nope. No, copy. Come on. Lift. Lift, fuck. Fuck. Come on, lift. Lift now, come on. There's a bit of pressure though, I don't like that. Okay. So the left side had a little bit bump because it wasn't the residue, the glue held a bit down to the left, so I needed to push it down like that. Okay, it's flat now, which is good. Just make sure that the positioning doesn't have too much friction. Okay, this looks good. It's good, I think. Okay, I think this is good. Okay, so now we can remove these sheets. I think this is okay. Just gonna push it down to make sure it's tight. Yeah, it feels good. It feels even. Okay, I know I'm being super picky, but like I said, I do not want to have to do this again. This is just ridiculous to have to do this yourself. Okay, so now I think we put this area here, and now I won't use acetone, I'll use isopropyl alcohol, because from my understanding, acetone is quite destructive in materials, whilst isopropyl alcohol is okay, like it doesn't actually destroy anything, whilst acetone, I had acetone destroy plastics. So now we want to protect the electronics with this. Because that's where the connectors go. Maybe I should do a little test first to see if it exposes okay, because if it doesn't, then what's the point? So I'm going to connect this. Yeah. Connect that cable. Lock it in place with the grey. And so I want to test the exposure. And I'll do this with, I'll put the papers on first before I move ahead, and I connect this. we go, and now we can turn it on, just give it a little exposure test. So let's turn it on. Okay, so it's turned on, let's go to tools, exposure, and 10 seconds I think. No, my bad, not 10 seconds, press the top center. Next. Okay, yep, that looks good. Yay, that's a functional screen, but now we need to make sure that the first layer was all done correctly, as in like all the double-sided tapes. So I'm going to turn this off for now. And actually I can, no, I'm gonna disconnect this for now. I want to make sure that all these tapes are on perfectly first. So this is going here. But it doesn't actually touch the screen by the looks of it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't go on the screen. So I'm going to have a very tiny drop of isopropyl alcohol, and from my understanding isopropyl alcohol is fine for electronics, so I'm only going to go up to here. Okay, and then dry it off. Okay, now put it on. And as soon as I peel it off, I will try to remember not to touch the bottom side. So I'll hold it like that. Oh, fuck me. Rushed it a bit too much, but it's okay. Yep, it's perfect. And now I'm going to push it in. Make sure that it's a tight seal. And again, we're going to have to use, so I think we'll peel the sticker off first, and only then can we actually apply this actual seal. So I believe it's this seal that actually seals, wait a minute, has this got 2 layers? You know what I can do actually? So this area won't be in use. Well, that's protected. It's like, can't even scratch it. Can I cut it? I'm just curious, so like this, it looks uneven. Not uneven, it's got bubbles. It's got air bubbles in it. So I'm wondering, does that get removed as well? Anyway, I need to remove this protective layer first. So let's do that. Okay. What does it say on it? Front. This sticker helps to remove the mask from the screen guard. Please peel off the mask with this sticker. From the screen guard. So what, you telling me there's a screen guard on it? Yes, by the looks of it, there is. So actually, I don't need to use isopropyl alcohol now because there was a sticker on top of it. So let's just remove this. I'm going to do the bottom side first. And this is going to be a bit tricky, I think. I want to make sure that I try not to touch what I don't need to. Try and concentrate. Okay, that's good. Now I know that this cannot overlap the aluminum side of the frame. See, that's I done it wrong, because that was a bit high, I think, unless I do that now. Okay, it feels fine now. No, this side is fine. The top side feels higher, which is wrong. Yeah, because if it feels higher, then it's wrong. Okay, look, you can see that little bubble actually moves it down. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, so can I complete it like that here? Because it needs to feel flush. God, this is nerve-wracking. Oh, you see? Yeah, there is a massive protective guard on this. So how do I peel this off to lift it? Without peeling the guard off? No. Because I can feel there's an imbalance. It's not balanced now. Fuck. Shit. Not good. What if I move this slightly? So this is, I think, where the factory may have gone wrong with my first one. Because it's this layer, I think, that wasn't aligned properly, which is where I'm going wrong. Am I going wrong with it? The bottom feels fine. Here, it's slightly off, I think. So I'm going to try to push it down. Which I think is working, actually. Because remember, this is just residue we're talking about. Yeah, this is, I think, lining it up nicely by pulling it slightly towards me. You see, yeah, it does move. And I can't pull this high, can I? Because this is in my way now. Oh, that's lubed up nicely. Okay, yeah, so you can physically move it when you just start engaging the rod. Okay, so what I'm a little bit worried about is where there was a little groove here in the aluminum frame, where the seal goes, there's like a 0.2 millimeter gap, and I think that the top side is slightly overlapping the gap on top. Now how I'm trying to go against it is by using my fingertips to pull it down. However, I think it's still slightly above the frame, like very, very little. Now if I use my nail here on the right side, it feels fine, but when I get to around here, it feels like there's a little bit of overlapping. So I don't know what to do. Now I know there's a protective layer to peel off that reveals the coating underneath. So let's remove this and see if there's a little bit more playroom. And the way I'm removing this is very delicately, because it's actually this protector that's actually the stronger point, and it's not the black seal itself. Because that black seal is much thinner than this protective layer that I'm peeling off. So now that I peeled it off, maybe I've got a bit of more playroom to actually feel it. Like, yeah, you can't even feel it here now. Like, it feels perfectly flat, even though I can see that it's very, very slightly a bit higher. But I think it should be fine. It feels less than like 0.1 but there's a little bit of a gap here. Not a gap. Guys, I'm just being too anal about this because of the previous incident of the resin leaking, I think. So I'm like super nervous. So I think this is it. And now we put the screen protector on the screen. Besides, actually, when you pull this down all the way, you will see that actually the bed doesn't actually hit that area anyway. I'm just gonna go down all the way and show you guys where it actually lines up. Okay. So if you see here, this is where it actually goes up to. So it doesn't actually go onto that area anyway, so it should be fine. One thing that's bothering me, there is a little bit of a bubble here next to the screen, and I don't know if there's anything that can be done about it. I mean, all it takes, I believe, that is one little bubble, and you got a leak there, if there is a leak on top actually. I mean, all it takes is one little hole like this, I think, and if there's a leak above, it will go in. So I'm not really sure what to do about that area. Either way, for now, all that's left to do is to protect the front screen. So this is the one that comes with AnyCubic officially. So let's actually attach it. So I'm going to use isopropyl alcohol to clean the screen first. Hopefully there's not a single speck of dust anywhere. Which there probably is. Oh crap. But I guess you just have to call it quits and just go for it one day, I think, huh? And then proceeds to do it again. Okay, let's just put it on. I do not know what I'm doing. I mean, there's no alignment tool here, is there? This is not exactly the same as a phone screen protector, is it? So what do we do about bubbles? Like these bubbles here. Do I want to go back and redo that area? Or is that dust? Now it's dust. Because I can feel that it's higher now. This is just not good. I don't even know, do these actually do anything? Because like the previous one I believe had the screen protector and didn't do shit, did it? That just creates a little bit of a higher screen actually, doesn't it? Just creates a bit of height. This feels like useless, to be honest. One thing that I noticed, yeah, so that is slightly higher than the actual screen itself. So like this seal here will no longer interfere with the vat. So I looked into it a little bit further, and regarding these little air bubbles, they shouldn't have a problem at all, because once the first layer actually goes down, it actually pushes them in. And the point of a screen protector is, in case the FEP sheet does get a puncture and you get resin leaked onto the screen, if it does cure on top of the screen, the resin, you would only have to remove the protective sheet. Because once the resin hardens on top of your screen, that is pretty much the screen gone. So that is the point of a screen protector. However, funnily enough, so when I did have a screen protector on the previous screen, I'm not even sure if it was actually a screen protector on the screen, because I don't remember it being that thick. It had the exact same sticker on it. It says front. This sticker helps to remove the mask from the screen guard. So do you remember that previous one that we removed? It says the exact same thing. The sticker helps to remove this mask from the screen guard. However, it was nowhere near this thick. So I'm thinking maybe they're just using this little label as a marker for everything, whilst the actual thing that we peeled off previously wasn't actually a screen protector. It was just a protective layer of the actual screen itself and not the actual screen guard. But yeah, regarding these little pockets of air, they apparently won't matter at all. So I'm just going to ignore them and just leave them. Well, I'm doing a little bit of maintenance here, try to get them out, but apparently it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I think this is as good as we're going to get it. So I'm going to be happy with it. But yeah, I'm just making a little check to make sure it's as even as possible. And actually, so I'm actually thinking that this is a good thing that it's slightly raised, because as I mentioned, this way we're not interfering with this masking area. I'm a little bit concerned about this area though. Maybe I should put a little bit of tape, maybe insulation tape, just to be safe, on the safe side maybe. So there you can clearly see there's a slight gap there, but now since we've got the screen protector on, it's slightly raised. So you see my insulation tape. Gonna get some here, and I'm gonna cut it to shape. And I only want to use very little bit, just a slight corner. Okay, so this is what I've shaped, and I'm just gonna stick it next to the screen protector area. Actually, it's a bit too wide, so I'm gonna cut it down a little bit, because I believe if resin leaks, that is the first area that it will go through. And as I mentioned loads of times already, since we've got a screen protector on, the height won't make a difference here, because that screen protector is much higher. So I feel much more safe now that that's protected, that corner. And you know what, I'm going to do that to the other corner as well, because I feel like this is much safer, because those areas seem like they had slight gaps. So let's do that again. Okay, so both the corners are done. The left side didn't really need it, but I thought I'd do that anyway, because in my opinion it creates such a nice seal, so why not do both? Besides, we have that screen protector that does the extra 0.5 millimeter or so in height, so we've got plenty of more room to work with. And all that's left with is just to put the screws back on. And of course I've got to level the bed after. But let's just do this first. So we have these yellow little stickers that were meant for the cables, but I don't really need them. I'm just going to bin them. So let's put that connector back in place. Once it's in place, flip the grey prong, or whatever you want to call it. Flip it on the side carefully. Oh, it wasn't in all the way. There we go. Not too tight. Okay. Clean it one more time. And now we can level the bed. So although I leveled it once already, because I changed my, because I installed a magnetic plate, I am going to have to re-level it one more time. It's a bit of a slap. So let's loosen them again. Let's home it. Pause. And then Z. Home. Okay, so now let's just tighten it. Make it all flat. I've got to admit, I'm not a fan of the screen. Like, there's no response. Like, when you press it, I don't know if I pressed it or not. Because I thought I was squishing it down further. Even though I was pressing the up button. Come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't like this motion system. Now what's that, man? Okay, hopefully that should be able to be ready for use. Right, so let's go for a print. So I got the FEP changed by myself, screen changed, and the insulation done better. I assume it's a little bit better than it actually was. And we've got grey resin by AnyCubic. I forgot to shake it. Should be alright though. I'm not going to enable the feeder because I know that's enough. Okay, right, so just a matter of starting the print now, I guess, and see what happens. So my settings for the print are 2.6 seconds exposure and 10mm lift speed, because I tried going down to 8mm, and ever since I tried that, I only had issues, so I'm going to go back to the default 10mm lift distance. Not speed, I'm not sure if I said speed. Okay, let's put the thingy back on. Let's hope nothing explodes. I mean, I did set the Z offset height, the home Z position. But I might as well film it just in case something goes wrong. I mean, I did set the home. Yep, that doesn't sound good at all. What the hell? What the fuck was that? I set the home. What the fuck was that? Okay, so I know it's homed. Come on, why did it do that? If I press home. Yep, that definitely shouldn't be doing that. I know why it's doing that. I think. Let's just finish it doing that, because I think if things is higher than it is. Is it going to stop doing that? What the fuck is going on? It's just going to go on forever. Why is it not homing? Oh, God's sake, man, what now then? Just when I filled up the vat. Now I think it's to do with this. You see in the back, there is that little metal pin, and then behind that, that's where it homes to. And I think it's not reaching it for some reason. So when I press, what is it? Okay, so let's loosen it again, even though I had it loosened before. You saw, guys, you saw me do this. But I think when I went up, maybe it didn't save the position or something, or it's maybe because I tapped up too fast or something. So maybe it lost its position and didn't save the new home position. So let's loosen it. Let's see if we can sort this out, because that was a bit scary. I hope that the screen didn't crack. Actually, I didn't raise it yet, did I? So I don't know if the screen cracked or not. I guess we'll find out. Let's do a print. Let's see what happens. But yeah, let's just home this again. So press home. Okay. It still jumped a few times though. But it does hit, like you guys see it. Yeah, you can see the red little dot there. That means it hit the home. Fine. So I think it's because we added that screen protector, and we also added the, what's it called? The Wham Bam magnetic sheet. So it's a bit higher than the Z homing switch, whatever you call it. Let's just see if this will actually work after I tighten it now. But then again, I'm not doing anything different, am I, when I'm homing this now, when I'm fixating this new homing position. Just gonna run the print after this. Because, you know, like, I know nothing about the operating system of this AnyCubic printers. Like, I know them on the FDM printers, but not on the AnyCubic ones. Okay, so now it's tightened. So it's homed. So Z equals 0. Setting Z to 0. Maybe that's what I didn't do. This screen is shit, look at that. Why is it not working? Oh, you guys can't see, can you? Need to go into autofocus. Setting OK. Rise platform now. Okay. Maybe it's because I homed it, but I didn't press Z0. That's why. So I think all I have to do really, let's turn the printer off first. I just have to unscrew those screws and put little washers there. Just to create a little bit of space. Just one screw. And how much did I give? How much extra room did I give? Quite a bit actually. So I don't think there should be anything difficult. All I need to do is give a bit more excess room for this in the height area. So let me get some washers. So I designed and made a little washer kind of thing, and that took me like a minute or two to design and like 5 minutes to print. And since obviously this is now too thick for the screws, I got replacement M3 screws that are slightly longer. So let's just assemble it. It would be something like that. Very simple. Let's get the other screw in there at the same time, I guess. There we go. Let's see if I can fit them in. I think the screws are interfering with each other, the top of them. That's why, so I need to drill them, sand them down a little bit. Okay, I'll file them down quickly. So let's try this again. Now they shouldn't, the heads shouldn't interfere with one another. There we go. Still slightly crooked. Well, let's just see if that goes in anyway. We need a slimmer head. Okay, that feels like it's going in fine. Just keep switching between one of them. I think these screws are a bit too long, but they should still go in fine. I just hope I won't have to remove this again, because it's a bit of a mission doing this. Nearly there. And then I'm going to lower it physically, manually, to make sure that it fits between the sensor. Oh, this is quite tough actually. And I'm not going to over tighten it either. Okay, that feels pretty sturdy to me, so let's try lowering it. Just to see if it goes between them, between the sensor. And it does. Wait a minute. Yep. Home. Okay, see, it didn't jump this time, which is very good. It's a very good sign, but we need to see that the bolts go down, which they are. Very good, and now we tighten it. And hopefully, that will be good. that's tightened, tightened, tight, and tight. And now we'll just set 0, enter. I don't know why the screen takes long to update. Yeah, raise platform. And now we should be able to start the print. So let's go to print, and let's hope what happens before won't happen again. So I think it's okay now. But we don't know if that cracked the screen or not, so we'll figure that out after a few hours after I can see the screen. Incredible. So complete failure, a hole in my FEP, and now we've got cured resin on the screen protector. So clearly that happened because of the Z-axis jumping up and down, because obviously I put the wham bam thick magnetic sheet on, which added like a little 5mm. Now although I put the new little spacer there, it was a bit too late, so clearly that made a hole and done this. So yeah, screwed it up, and now I've got to try to get it off. And I don't have a spare screen protector, so I'm going to have to try to scrub this off, and I just YouTubed it, and apparently you just use isopropyl alcohol and just soak it in and just repeatedly rub it with a plastic scraper, not a metal one, or a kitchen roll paper. And I don't have a screen protector, so I'm not going to peel this one off. I'm going to keep it on there. I think the screen itself is in good condition. I'm going to do a little test after I remove this resin and go from there. Almost removed, nearly there. Let's hope that will go away. And after I do, I'll do an exposure test as well. So I think this is as good as it's going to get. I think that is a few scratches from me trying to remove the resin, and the only way to actually get out of this is just put another screen protector on. So luckily I did have a screen protector on, but I'm going to try to do a print with this anyway after I do an exposure test and I'll replace the FEP sheet. That will be my third FEP sheet I've replaced now. That's incredible. But yeah, let's do an exposure test. Okay, so let's run it. 10 seconds, next. Okay, yep, all looks good. That little square here, that's where the sellotape is, insulation tape that I put on. Okay, let's do another one, because I think there's 3 tests in total. Tools, change the square to a small square. That looks good as well. And to be honest, you see, that UV light goes right through where the resin cured, where the resin scratches. So I think any scratches, any air bubbles, they don't matter at all. Okay, so that's good news. The screen is okay, so that didn't go to waste. So let's sort out the FEP. Let's sort out that, because there's a hole in that somehow. So yeah, obviously is when the Z-axis was going up and down like crazy. So yeah, that obviously caused the issue. So I'm gonna double check that to make sure that that's perfect. That little thing that we installed, the little spacer. Okay, so I think we finally have some success after changing the FEP sheets, re-leveling the bed to a flat screen itself, and not when the bed is inserted into the VAT. I think is gonna be good now. So yeah, fingers crossed.